Classy performer, now playing his best pool after a lean spell, but his Embassy World Championship record spells danger for them all, trying to reach this prestigious title for the very first time in his long and distinguished career. Can I ask you to welcome from Sheffield, the Blade himself, Terry Hunt. And Terry's powerful opponent, the defending world champion, gradually hitting the form that saw him capture the title, and the reigning Embassy Professional Masters champion will be giving his all to keep this coveted crown intact. Ladies and gentlemen, into the semi-final, will you welcome the #1 seed and the reigning Embassy World Champion, Carl Morris.
Ladies and gentlemen,
yes, it's
round.
high tide here in Blackpool and high anxiety right out there on the table. This our semi-final, first semi-final in fact, of the 1999 Embassy World Pool Championship, and it features a man that's hoping it's going to be third time lucky. Terry Hunt making his third visit to the semi-finals. But the task isn't going to be easy. He's going to have to stop a man who's looking to make history. Carl Morris is trying to become the first player to retain this coveted title. He is the reigning Embassy World Champion, as we see Terry Hunt again breaking off and showing us the sort of form that he employs successfully, with the red dropping top right. So it's going to be an open table for Terry Hunt. Beside me, a very respected professional that knows both of these players very well. And I say that with slight trepidation. Mr. Tony Holgate. And Tony, Terry's got a lot to do here. Keith Brewer said that he just only slightly favored Carl Morris, if for no other reason than he doesn't put any pressure on himself. And he is the defending champion.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. Terry Hunt bidding to make the final for the very first time. Like you just said before, this is his third time now in the semis. His last visit to the semis, he played myself in 1996. Now, he's a tremendous talent, Terry Hunt. Very smooth cueist. But Carl Morris, he's the defending world champion. So Terry's got it all to do.
Well, down to the business end here in Blackpool at the Stackus Hotel. The seas are rough, and Terry Hunt wants it to be rough going for Carl Morris.
It's been a great split from the break for Terry. I mean, just look how the reds came out. He only had the one orca red, which he moved straight away. And this will do him the world of good. Get in, go 1-0 up without letting Carl come to the table.
He's got a perfect angle on this red. Can take that cue ball to any area on the table to be able to attack the black. How's this for an opening?
Showed a lot of confidence with that shot, Jim.
Down goes the 8 into the center of the pocket, and Terry Hunt has started things as well as he could have wished for. He leads Carl Morris 1-0 in this semifinal clash. So the defending champion all set to break off here. Frame number 2. And if there's one adjective that I think is very befitting of Carl Morris, it's tenacious. There's no quit in this man whatsoever. And just like Terry Hunt, he returns the favor with a good break-off.
Generate a lot of power in that break, Jim. And I'll tell you what, reds or yellows, both of them are on.
Red ball's nominated.
Carl's took the reds. Just got the one tricky ball at the top of the table to get on. Apart from that, everything's really open.
Red ball's in play.
Not sure he controlled that shot very well.
Well, I think he was giving us a wry smile, if for no other reason than that red almost jumped out. Hit the back of the pocket, just about flopped right back onto the surface of the table.
I'm actually surprised he came down to the bottom of the table there, really. I thought he'd have gone to the top, take out the awkward ones at the top.
Watch this red. You saw it dip back up again. An anxious moment for Carl, to be sure.
There you see Carl's now gone to the top of the table, leaving the two reds in the middle of the table at the bottom and the one by the middle, so it's easy to get onto the black for later. And he's hung it, Jim.
Yellow ball's in play.
Well, I wouldn't have expected that.
No, I don't think Carl expected it either.
Seconds.
Well, that's a sure sign that Terry Hunt's cueing well. Nice and smooth. And the cue right through on the intended line. Also a sign that if he's nervous, he's masking it.
He's been a little bit fortunate there as Terry Hunt. He tried to get the cue ball up to the top of the table and he's kissed into the black. You know, it's very hard to control it.
30 seconds.
And he's just looking up on the table, seeing where he wants to be for his next shot, but he's got to jack the cue up in the air. This is a tough shot.
And that caused the miss. Just left himself a little too much to do, Tony, as you suggested.
Carl's been fortunate to get a second bite of the cherry during this frame. But I can't see Carl making any mistakes now.
Seconds. Seconds.
Good pot, that one. And now the all-important position from the last red to the open black. Never easy to negotiate how that cue ball is going to come out of the jaws of the pocket the way this red is wedged in there. And I guarantee you that this might have been the last pocket that Carl was intending this black into. But without a doubt, it's heating up here in Blackpool in this first semifinal. Carl Morris walking back to his chair, shaking his head, but he knows he's leveled it up here with Terry Hunt. One frame apiece in this race to 10. Reigning world champion breaks off in frame 4, sorry, of a scheduled 19.
Red ball potted.
Well, Tony, I really have to say I don't remember when we've seen the break-off working so effectively for both players.
Yeah, throughout this championships, some of the breaking has left a lot to be desired. You know, nobody's been getting much off the breaks, but Carl and Terry seem to have cracked it, don't they?
Well, having elected reds, the only real difficult one is on the left-hand side of the table. Right there, that's the awkward red for Carl.
Time running.
You know, I think there's a little chalk mark there on the cushion that Carl wasn't happy with. Obviously in his line of sight. Wanted it removed before he plays his next shot.
Come on, Carl. Come on.
Now in an ideal world here, playing this red left center to leave the red right center. If he can pot the other red fairly straight, leave the cue ball about where the X is, he's going to have a nice angle on this red to possibly dislodge that awkward one on the left cushion.
30 seconds.
Little game of crosses and knots there, Tony. Well, he's going to want to leave that desired angle, if not to try and drop on that red, certainly disturb it. Just depends how he feels. He's going to have a look right now and confirm exactly what we just looked at.
The problems Carl's got is actually kicking the red out and landing on it so he can pot it into a pocket. I personally would have liked to get a lot straighter on the red so I can just come in behind and take the red up the top rail. I think he was trying to get on the awkward red straight away. Played up the top of the table. He's attempting a double now, is Carl. And he's just missed it.
Yellow ball's in play.
The thing is, you can't keep giving a player of Terry's ability chances. You keep missing and letting him in, he'll finish you off.
He's going after his difficult yellow. If for no other reason, it was only available to the one pocket. There's Terry's wife, Vanessa. She'll be on pins and needles watching this.
Yeah, she tends to get very nervous when Terry's playing. And being as this is the biggest tournament in the world, well, she doesn't look too nervous, does she? But she will do as the match draws on, no doubt. Especially if it goes 9-all.
Well, this 8 isn't easy. Going to be played right center pocket. Sure stroke required here. No problems for Terry Hunt. He now leads Carl Morris 3 frames to 1. And is there an upset on the cards?
Fifth frame, Terry Hunt to break, leading 3 frames to 1.
And just look how they've come out once again, Jim. Yellows look tremendous, but the only problem is his first ball. I mean, his break's really improved this tournament. I mean, that's a great break. Look at the yellows, they're all open. What a great chance for Terry Hunt, but his first ball is going to be the
Yellow ball's
hardest.
in play.
It almost looks like he's got to play the yellow on the left cushion. If for no other reason, he's not bridging over the red, but he's not. He's taking the one bridging over the red. Well, that was a difficult pot.
Red ball's in play.
But if nothing else, he's established himself as being on the yellows. And the yellows situated much nicer than the reds.
See, Carl's going to try and cover the pocket here down on the bottom right-hand side of the table. You can also leave Terry Hunt snookered as well in the same shot. And he's underdone it.
Right now, Terry's looking at the plant. You can get through to that yellow, and if he gets this, he should clear up the frame. Well, he's missed it.
Come on.
Just didn't quite judge it correctly, but he's locked up that red by the black now. That one's in jail. Here's Lee Kendall, the #1 ranked player in the world, an interested spectator. As always, Lee, he is a student of the game. He's played all over the world. But I notice he's got his phone with him just in case there's a call. Hope he's got it turned off, Tony. Well up that red. Now game on for Carl Morris. The red just behind the black, loosened up. That now affords Carl the opportunity to try and win it this visit.
Seconds.
Well, I'm not sure how tight this red is on the left-hand side of the table. There you see the red ball does go into the pocket, but he's only got half the pocket to aim at, Jim. Not an easy shot. Don't know whether he'll refuse it from where the cue ball is now.
I think when he does play it, Tony, he'll play it off the cushion, off the yellow and in. If he can get there.
Seconds.
Timeout.
And you see Carl play his shot. Just caught the red ball there. I think he wanted to get the red ball off the rail a bit more.
Time running.
But he's still in pretty good shape. You know, he's looking a little bit upset with himself, but he should settle for this.
Seconds.
There you saw Carl put a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball, but he's not giving it enough stick to get out of there. And you see he's dropped it short, but he can still make the pot, but it's going to be tricky whether he gets on the black, Jim.
The only problem is the cue ball is going to be running away from the 8. If he can leave it left-hand side of the table, but then he's going to have to hit it hard. And this has to be judged perfectly. As I said, it's going to have to go in off the cushion, I believe, cushion yellow and in the pocket. Had that not touched the yellow last, he would have been snookered. What a break for Carl Morris. What a shot, fully deserving. Tremendous shot on the red, and Lady Luck played a hand on that black.
Terry Hunt to break, leading 4 frames to 2. Red ball potted.
Reds or yellows. Not much really in it here, Tony.
You can see the cue ball there. I've just left the playing surface as he broke. Skip
Yellow
round the
ball's
table.
nominated.
Terry Hunt's took the yellows. Just slightly better than the reds.
seconds.
I'll tell you what, Jim, I fancy Terry to get these.
Yellow ball's in play.
Just as I say that, he puts himself in the most awkward position he could possibly find on the table. Thank you very much, Mr. Hunt. Well, I didn't know he could get through there. I thought he was stuck to the red there, Jim, and I know you did as well.
Well, he didn't want to be straight on this yellow, because the toughest one now is the top of the table as we look. If he had an angle, had that cue ball a little closer to the cushion, he'd have been able to drop nicely onto that one. Might have to force this a bit now. There's what happens.
Red ball's
Try
in
and
play.
make more than the shot presents.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. He just tried to borrow a bit of pocket on the shot to get the cue ball across, and there you see the pocket won't have them with that power into the jaw. And Terry Hunt there, he knows he really should be 5-2 up there. It's a great chance for him. And there you see Carl Morris, an unbelievable miss. He started talking to himself now.
Overcut it. And worse for him, he's not covered the pocket. Which country's flag will be flying full mast when this event is done? We've got English, French,
seconds.
and Australian all bidding to become the 1999 Embassy World Pool Champion. The only thing we know for sure is we'll have an Englishman in the final. But which one will it be? The man at the table, Terry Hunt, or last year's tournament champion, Carl Morris?
Seconds.
Overcut that ball. They hear Carl's supporters giving him some encouragement, but look at this for overcutting the yellow. Missed it by a long, long way.
Looked like he had a lot of side on the cue ball, Tony. I wonder if that didn't increase the degree of difficulty to the pot, thinking more about position. These are the type of frames that for both Carl and Terry, the loser is going to remember the bad shot they played. Still a bit of work to be done. You can see just off angle, he wants to be absolutely sure in his mind exactly how to attack the 8-ball. That shows experience. Anxious moments for Jim Morris as well as Carl. The 8 down, and we're still in for a royal battle here. Finally poised, 4-3 to Sheffield's Terry Hunt. Carl Morris to break. And for the first time, one of the players fail at the break-off.
And just look at the red balls, Jim. They're all in the open. The only real awkward ball is the black ball. There you see Carl's break-off. And he gets nothing from the break and hands a chance to Terry Hunt to regain his 2-frame cushion.
30 seconds.
Red ball's in play.
So as Terry Hunt surveys this situation, quite obvious that at some stage he's going to have to try and develop that black, and he didn't waste much time.
Thing is, though, the black ball doesn't go in either of the bottom 2 corner pockets. Doesn't go in the center on the right, and it doesn't go in the center on the left. So it's top of the table only for Mr. Hunt, unless you can kick the black out. And I'll tell you what, I think he might have just opened it up in the bottom right-hand corner. He's having a look. I think it does go. Terry would have looked a lot more concerned if that didn't go.
It seems like the 2 times that Terry Hunt has looked to have lost his way, he comes back with a vengeance. And the black definitely passes that pocket. Bottom right. It almost looks like it'll go bottom left too. Certainly goes to the center pocket now. I think it's basically however he wants to go after it now, Tony.
Yeah, it's a great little shot Terry played there. I mean, he's opened up all the pockets with just the 1 hit. And he's odds on now to make it 5-3. Just a simple stun up into the top corner. And I think we'll see this black disappear.
Great performance from Terry Hunt there. The failed break from Carl Morris. Quick to pounce, the Predator from Sheffield. 5-3 in front now over the defending champion.
9th frame, Terry Hunt to break, leading 5 frames to 3.
Now you see Terry Hunt's not put anything over the break. He's not left anything really easy for Carl. So I think he'll be going for the yellows.
Well, the rack again doesn't look straight. Looks like it's a little offline. We saw Carl Morris ask for a re-rack. Terry Hunt didn't. He might have wished he had.
$30 seconds.
That's some shot there from Carl Morris. Put his cue up in the air, didn't even put his hand on the table. That's an exhibition shot he's just played there. I play that shot in some of the pubs in the exhibitions around the country. I can't believe he's brought it to the World Championships.
Well, you wouldn't play that in snooker because that cue ball went through the object ball, and that would have been a foul. Obviously not in this game. Three-ball plant. Now he's going to have to make another one bottom left. So he's showing us everything here. All stops pulled out here for Carl Morris. This has to be made, you can see.
Seconds.
This will be some finish if he gets these. Here you see Carl play another plant and deposits a yellow into the corner pocket. Still not a formality finish, Jim, but it's gradually getting easier as he looks like he's shifting another yellow into the pocket.
The yellow nearest the cue ball doesn't pass. As we again see this developing shot for the 8-ball, he's going to have to play another plant. This will be the third plant he'll have played in this finish. Well, in fact, the yellow passed, so we didn't get the excitement of the third plant. Finish for Mr. and Mrs. Morris to be able to witness here. And finish it is. Carl Morris with a little chin out. He pulls one back, trailing Terry Hunt by just the one frame at 5-4.
So then, this semi-final is beautifully poised at the moment. Terry Hunt has led all the way, 5-4, but look at those shots that Houdini himself is playing. And Keith, you do this once a day, don't you?
Well, this is like an exhibition type shot. But just in case one or two people think it's a foul, it isn't in pool, and that's one of the things. It's a very exciting game to play, 8-ball pool, and you do see kind of a big variation of shots that you wouldn't normally see in most other cue sports.
As I've said, Terry has led all the way and is looking calm and confident, but you can never count Carl out, especially when he does those sorts of things.
Well, he's been 2 frames behind on a couple of occasions, and he just keeps on fighting, and he just plays like he's in front, and that's the mark of the guy. Like I said before, you know, it's an old head on young shoulders.
So 5-4 at the moment, and once again, it's Carl Morris to break off.
Time out. I've started anyway.
Well, he's just asked for a quick timeout. I don't know if something distracted him or his tie felt a little uncomfortable. He had a quick giggle. Oh, maybe he just quite possibly felt a little indigestion. Welcome, frame 10. Morris just breaking off here. And the defending champion is really being made to work here in the semifinal.
Once again, not the greatest of breaks from Carl. Terry Hunt's going to take the yellow balls here.
Yellow ball's in play.
And I'll tell you what, It's not easy, but there is a good chance of an out.
Well, the sequence of frames so far, just to bring you up to date. Terry Hunt at one stage led 3-1 and 4-2. He's never been behind in this match, having won the opener. And he finds himself just that odd frame in front as we pick it up here in the 10th frame. But it seems that every time Carl Morris has come back at him, Terry Hunt has responded with one of his best frames of the match.
It's like when you're playing matches like this, you're keen to keep it like a 2-frame cushion. It's just keeping your nose in front. It just takes the edge off it if you've got a couple, 2 or 3 frames in front. And that's what Terry will want to do. He'll want to just keep Carl in his chair.
Position now imperative for Terry, and Carl in the only position that you don't score from. He wants to get on that open yellow. He needs a little bit of angle, and that is picture perfect. Just stun that cue ball softly over for the yellow to the same pocket. But Tony, as you said, this was far from a straightforward finish. Still got work to do because that 8-ball isn't exactly in the open. It looks like it's only available to the same corner that these yellows are open to.
30 seconds.
Certainly doesn't look available there. This still is not easy for Terry Hunt. Now I wonder if he's going to screw back. If he can't get behind it, he might have to take a chance on trying to develop it. And
I think Terry's looking to kick the red away from the black ball. You see the red there sat to the left of the black ball. He's going to try and pot the yellow and take the cue ball into that red, which will then open up the black ball for the bottom right-hand corner. Well, I wonder how close he is to the black. Yes, he's got a good chance here. Got rid of the red ball, just a little closer than he'd have liked.
just flicked the black as it was coming close to the red. Had it not, might have had a little bit more room to work. We'll know what's in before him. I don't think so. Well. Well. A chance for Carl Morris here.
Well, I can't believe he's overcut it. Look how far he is away. You know, if anything, he wouldn't cut it enough, but strange shot from Terry. I really, really fancied him to get that one. And that's a good shot from Carl Morris.
Yes, right away. Going for the throat here.
I'll tell you what, Terry Hunt missing that black. That one could haunt him for a few frames. And that's always a danger when you're playing in these big matches. You know, you have a great chance to go 6-4 up. Miss a black that you're expected to pot, I don't know, 49 times out of 50. And if he doesn't erase it from his mind, it'll be Carl Morris with the momentum.
Very straightforward here. And they saw their son lift the crown here last year. They're hoping to see an instant replay. Little anxiety, I'm sure. Eventually disappeared. Simple 8. And wouldn't you know it, we're no further ahead than when we started. 5-5, the scoreline reads. It is now effectively reduced to a best-of-9 semifinal here. This always promised to be a very tight-fisted, difficult one to call. And it's living up to all our expectations.
Red and yellow balls potted. Yellow balls in play.
Another look at the form of Terry Hunt. Successful as it's been throughout here. Red and yellow potted.
Well, it's important that Terry Hunt takes out a finish now, really, because it will be playing on his mind the last frame. He's got a good chance. He's just got to make a plant at the top of the table. If he makes that plant, the frame's within his reach. And there you see these two balls at the top left-hand side of the table. That's the plant he wants to make. And there you see Terry looking just where he wants to get the cue ball to play that shot.
Has to be said, Tony, he's had his chances to run away and hide in this one, and he hasn't done it. Now, will that come back to haunt him? Because Carl Morris has really been dogged on his trail.
Well, he's made the plant, but he's not landed very good. As you see Terry Hunt shaking his head, just look where he's finished. Anywhere but there. And there he's acknowledging the fact that he could be seeing another frame slip from his grasp. But like you said, Jim, he's had quite a few frames now where, you know, he's snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, if you like.
30 seconds.
Well, he gets within sight of the winning post and then tends to falter. And as is the case in any sporting event, you've got to do it at crunch time. You've got to be able to get the job done.
Well, he's missed again, and now he's left Carl here.
Red balls in play.
On the reds, he's going to play the red onto the other red over the centre bag. There you see Terry Hunt. He tried to get the yellow in off the red into the corner and failed. I think what's happening here is, you know, Carl Morris is just sweeping up off Terry Hunt's mistakes. Every time Terry's made a mistake, it's right towards the end of the frame, and all the balls are open. There's nothing really hard for Carl to do. Makes the plant, and just look at the reds. Should be formality stuff for Mr. Morris.
Carl Morris is the #1 seed in this tournament. By right of being the defending champion, Terry Hunt, seeded #6. But in terms of world ranking, a little closer. Morris #6, Hunt #7. And given those statistics, you knew it was going to be close. And there's a very interested onlooker, Quinton Hahn, the Australian semi-finalist. He's hoping to be able to play the winner here in the final, but he's still got a lot of work to do. Got to get through Yannick Beaufils from France. And what a tussle that's going to be. Sign of nerves, a little twitchy action. And Carl Morris has given Terry Hunt life. Look at the back arm. That was snatchy. Normally, you follow straight through. That one stopped, and he knows it.
Well, I wonder if Terry Hunt's looking at the snooker at the top of the table.
Not touching.
Yes, he is. He's just asked the referee to check that the cue ball, the yellow ball at the top was not touching the rail. So he's going to play this very gently and try and sit the cue ball behind the other yellow. What a great shot from Terry Hunt. Absolutely superb. Dead weight right behind the yellow.
Yes, another look. This shows a lot of trust in the table. And it doesn't finish any better than that. But if you hit it, Carl, chances are you make it. And this isn't going to be any good.
Foul, 2 visits.
2 visits to Terry Hunt, and he really is being made to suffer for that missed black. Well, this wasn't a long ways away either. But Tony, you and I both know he'll be replaying that missed 8 ball for a long time to come if he loses this one.
Well, that's right, Jim. That's 1 each now, isn't it, in the last 2 frames?
Second visit.
Well, that'll do, Terry. Bet Terry can't believe he's got another chance at this frame. Happy days for Mr. Hunt.
Well, they've both pretended to be Santa Claus here. And this time it's Terry Hunt that accepts the gift. He leads Carl Morris 6 frames to 5. Red down for Carl.
Red ball putted.
And there might have been a little bit of anger in that breakoff. But the odd frame behind when he could so easily have been the odd frame in front. Choice of colors.
Yellow ball's nominated.
And yellow's color of choice.
Yellow ball's in play.
Now, how important is this frame? After having given that last one away, I feel it's vital for Carl to erase the memory and secure this one, and in convincing fashion.
Well, he's actually on his awkward yellow really here, Jim. He's take this yellow ball into the centre pocket. Everything else is pretty open. And there you see it there. He's got this nice and gentle. Well, he's took it up the corner. Well, I am surprised. That's a sign of maybe being a little negative there. He's obviously thought, I might miss it in the middle, so I'll take it in the corner. If I miss it in the corner, at least I'm blocking the pocket. A bit of insurance, but not normally the positive Carl Morris that we all know and love.
Seconds.
Well, that has to give Terry a breath of life, certainly a good opening red. But to be repaid after you've given a frame away and repaid in kind has to be a boost for your confidence. The red's open, save for the one top left. But if he can maneuver the white into a position behind it,
30 seconds.
well, then everything will be there on a silver platter. He's going after it right away. Wow, this is a big shot. Not ideally situated. He may have to play this into the center pocket. You can see it doesn't pass into the end. So this is the big shot here. And there's someone that thinks he's going to be coming to the table very soon.
30 seconds.
And I wonder if it's wishful thinking. Middle pocket.
It's a loose shot there from Terry Hunt. See, he's undercut it. Red hits the angle of the middle pocket. And Carl's got a great chance. I think because we're drawing nearer the finish of the match, you know, they both seem to be making a couple of mistakes.
It's really turned into a story of not so much what's been made, but what's been missed. Just wants to be absolutely sure to secure the gap down towards the yellows.
That's absolutely perfect for Carl. Pot this yellow, comes up for the yellow on the cushion. Another good shot. Then it'll be his last yellow and the black ball in the right-hand centre pocket.
Miles away. And Carl Morris is playing like a man under immense pressure, and it's all from within.
Well, Jim, this is 2 in a row now. And just look how far away the black ball is from the pocket. And there you see his brother, head in his hands. Can't believe he's missed it.
Well, Terry Hunt still has a few to pot. I wonder if Carl Morris is going to get yet another opportunity to take this one. And the whole Morris family is really suffering. Oh, that's a terrific pot. Had to have it. Stayed perfectly still. That usually equates to success.
Tell you what, Jim, that red hit the cushion just before the pocket as well.
Long straight black. And the disappearance of that black just burnt Carl Morris's black into his memory banks. 7-5 to Terry Hunt. So Terry Hunt breaks off frame 13. And this time, nothing down.
Open table.
Don't know what he did any different, Tony. He's been so successful off the breaks.
Well, he hit the pack okay. There's nothing wrong with the power of the break. It's just unfortunate not to get a ball. I think yellows are the colour here. And they look pretty open to me.
30 seconds.
Yellow balls in play.
The only thing that will stop him finishing this frame, Jim, is nerves and the old twitch.
Well, he's been his own worst enemy.
When you see Colmore taking a long time over his shots, you know that he's not feeling great. You say he's looking a little bit hesitant. And every ounce of confidence seems to be sapped from him.
He looked considerably better and more comfortable, adjusted earlier on in this match. As it's progressed, and some misses have crept in, and costly ones. As you say, it seems to have ebbed away. That swagger, that air of self-belief. He has to regain it.
30 seconds.
This looks pretty straightforward.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, if he doesn't get this finish, I'll be having my money on to say Terry Hunt is definitely going to win the match, because this is all important now for Carl Morris. If he misses another great chance, that's the end of him.
Played that beautifully around the angles. And will he be a happy man to see this black disappear? And you will hear some noise. Listen for the shout. And a very relieved Carl Morris and family. One behind Terry Hunt. It's all happening here in Blackpool. So Carl Morris, having taken the last frame with a nice clearance, and now he needs a little bit of that luck to ride his way.
Open tip.
And the Reds don't look too bad. Carl Morris's reaction tells you what Terry Hunt is going to try and confirm, that he's in with a shout. 7-6 behind is Carl Morris, the defending Embassy World Pool champion for 1998.
30 seconds.
See again, Carl Morris, he hit a decent break, but see again, the balls don't forgive you. Not an easy chance this though for Terry.
Yes, I think intended the red, or sorry, the yellow to the bottom of the table, but the out ball was always the one over the pocket, and his only real problem ball as we look is the one on the left-hand side that he's looking at right now. Nearest his hand. This is a shot for this frame, Tony. If he doesn't get it, ideally he'd like it to sit right over the pocket. Where he's played it and how he's played it, I feel that he's almost forced into taking it on, even though he can see the long one nearest the quarter pocket. Big shot this one, and timely. You don't hit them any sweeter than that. It's just been amazing how every time Carl Morris pips a frame, Terry Hunt just seems to find the answer. And what a great shot that is.
That was a tremendous hit from Terry Hunt. The actual cue ball control there to just bring it through the gap of the balls to land on his last yellow, fantastic. Great finish from Terry this, Jim.
The 8 disappears, and Terry Hunt, the Blade, the number 6 seed in this event, is just 2 frames away from his first major final.
And that's been very important. Carl's never got his nose in front, and he's very close to home now, Terry. So, yeah, he's looking good.
Will Terry Hunt become the hunted? We'll soon find out. Let's get back to it.
Breaking off. An ideal situation. He wants to see a color go down and leave himself on. Nothing down. Well, the chance for Carl Morris. 8-6. Right now, Morris can ill afford to go 9-6 down. The time to strike has come.
Well, yellows are definitely the bull. There's a great chance here, is Carl.
30 seconds.
Yellow
Now
ball's
we've reached
in
a
play.
time where Carl Morris just cannot afford to miss.
Well, his time has arrived. He's got to stand up and be counted right now. He felt like there was no pressure on him because no one had ever successfully defended this title. But I've got a feeling in his mind, in his heart, he felt that he was equal to the task.
Thirty seconds.
Looking very sure. Striking the white very nicely right now. The awkward yellow in the center of the table. Position to it will hold the key to winning or losing this one.
Come on, Pat.
saying nice shot and clapping, but he's overdrawn that. The pot, difficult enough, but position, he's got to negotiate the cannon from the red because he still needs the 8.
I think if he just fine cuts this one, Jim, the white should hold on the red ball for the black into the centre. Well, he's played a screw shot. And he's been very fortunate there. The red ball is sliding off the black.
Well, the 8 down, and look at Carl Morris. He's trying to push himself, so's his dad. Again, just 1 frame in it. But the scene is set for Morris breaking off frame number 16. Just the odd frame behind. 2 reds down. And look at the reds.
Red ball spotted.
What a timely break this is.
Look at the power in the break, Jim. It's a fantastic split. And you couldn't wish for more. 8-7 down.
Thirty seconds.
He was level at 5 frames apiece. And this is opportunity to deadlock it again at 8. Terry Hunt seems pretty relaxed, but certainly the nerves must really be churning.
30 seconds.
And he's never been in front in this match. Most important time to be in front is at the end. You want to be the last man at the table. Has he saved his best for last?
Well, we'll just pot this red at the bottom of the table now. Ease the cue ball up into the centre of the table. Red in the middle. Screws the cue ball back. 5 or 6 inches black in the same pocket as red's just gone. In fact, he might, now he's landed with an angle, he might just roll this in and play the black in the opposite corner. And that's what he's showing around the table to have a look at. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball then.
This pocket's familiar to him.
Come on.
But a different story this time. Down goes the 8, and 8s are wild here in Blackpool. It's a 2 out of 3 now.
17th frame, Terry Hunt to break. 8 frames all.
And Terry Hunt has once again been caught. Will he respond the way he has throughout this match with a terrific frame? Well, it's all turned around on him, and I wonder if he senses it. Once more. Not many have gone astray for Terry.
Red ball's in play.
Well, in a space of 3 frames, Jim, the whole match has turned on 3 breaks. 2 are Terry's and 1 are Carl's. Terry's got to be absolutely gutted at the moment. 8-6 up, cruising. He's now 8 all, broke, nothing in, and Carl Morris now has a great chance to take the lead. Well, normally these would be an absolute formality finish, but bearing in mind the situation that we're in, we're coming towards the end of a massive world semi-final, which makes these balls 20 times as hard. And there's Rose, Carl's mum, biting her nails. She can't bear to watch.
Come on, Carl. Come on, Carl.
Well, this is simple stuff. Just drops the red in now to the corner. He's got the black in the left centre to go 9-8 in front.
The 8 goes down, and Rose Morris is very happy indeed. 9-8 for the first time in this one. Carl has his nose in front and wants one more frame for a place in his second successive final.
18th frame, Carl Morris to break, leading 9 frames to 8.
Carl breaks off, red down, yellow down.
Red and yellow balls potted.
Look at those yellows, Jim. What a great chance for Carl. Massive break. There you see the red goes in off the cue ball and a yellow up at the top. And just look at the yellows. Well, this is it for Carl. He won't get a better chance than this to reach the final.
Well, you can't help but be impressed. He's had to dig deep, a measure of the man. He's had to
Yellow balls in
find
play.
character and bring out some of the best pool. At the very end, he has produced the form
30 seconds.
that we all knew he was capable of.
Well, if he gets this finish, Jim, he creates history anyway. He'll be the first defending champion to actually get to the final the following year of the World Championships. Never mind win it. Well, he thinks he's had a kick there. He's asked the referee to clean the cue ball. Yes, you can see there was bad contact there with the yellow. And he's put a yellow onto the rail. I still think the finish is there, though, for Carl.
Time running.
He's got a little angle on the yellow that's close to the cue ball. He can pot this into the right corner, and he can get on his problem ball that's on the rail.
Come on, Carl.
Well, I don't think Carl would have liked to have been so straight on this ball. I think he'd have liked a bit of angle to bring the cue ball off the rail. And there you see, not much angle there.
Seconds.
Come on.
Come on, Nico. Well, just look at her. She's shaking. It's okay for her to be shaken as long as her son isn't. Well, the road winds.
Well, I thought he took an unnecessary risk here, Jim. He could have just dropped that ball in and played a long yellow into the top left-hand corner. And I fancied Carl to get that, and he'd have had a shot at the black. This, however, is a far more daunting task.
Seconds.
Is he playing this off the red?
I'll tell you what, Jim, he's looked at about 4 different shots here.
Yes, he's got to think about the time here. He's potted the red.
Foul, 2 visits.
2 visits to Terry Hunt.
Not left him in a great
Red
position, though,
balls in
Jim.
play.
Well, Terry would ideally like to have an easy starting red.
Well, I think he's got no option but to play the double now with a red into the right-hand centre. And I think he's got it. Ooh,
Second visit.
very unlucky there.
Still, it's finished very nicely. Right over the pocket. I thought he might take the cue ball up for those 2 reds top end and try and finish down here.
No, he's going to go up there off this red now. So the red over the centre bag is going to be his last red. Should he get that far? Well, maybe it's not. Well, I would have gone up to the top of the table there because it's been easy to get on the one over the middle because you had acres of space to land in, Jim.
Well, I have to agree, Tony. Made it a little tougher than he could have. Could have just stunned or screwed that cue ball up the top end of the table as we look, but this still is a finish he has to have.
Well, that was a very solid pot there from Terry. Held the cue ball on the last red. Wants to pot this. He's going to hit this with quite a bit of power, I think, try and get the cue ball well away from the cushion. And he's played that terrible, absolute terrible shot. I feel he could have just punched the right-hand side, middle of the cue ball, anything like that. He could have come off the bottom rail.
Oh, what a great long 8, and look at Terry Hunt. The applause has to be there, but the applause is for both players to be sure. At 9-9, what a tremendous semifinal we have just staked ourselves for here. Well, it's down to 1 frame for 2,500 pounds. The winner guaranteed 5,000. The loser will be consoled with 2,500. And Terry Hunt breaks off. And as it has done,
Open table.
most recently the break deserts Terry Hunt. Carl Morris in with the first go.
Come on, Cal.
Yellow balls in play.
But positioning the white of paramount importance.
Can he hold himself together to pot these remaining yellows and the black?
I think his dad feels confident. I'm not too sure about his mom. Hope she lasts through this one. He's going through the motions like it's a walk in the park. But I can assure you folks, this park has a very windy sidewalk.
Come on, Cal. Come on.
Could have done with another 3 or 4 inches on that one.
I think that's okay. Mother can watch, father can't. He'll know by the applause. This 8 passes. unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I've seen movies with less drama.
Come on, Carl.
I know what Carl's feeling. And I actually missed a chance to win the world title in '96. And I'll tell you what, it took me a year to get over it. See Terry Hunt there in the background. He's already wiping his cue. He feels that Carl's not going to get out of this. Refusing to sit down, he's going to stand there and wait. And there was Jim just explaining that Carl's in a lot of trouble.
Looks like the middle knuckle. It's got to go up the cushion after it hits the middle knuckle.
Oh.
Carl Morris has time fouled on the last frame in the world semi-final. That is unbelievable. You see Carl's looking around. He didn't realise he was so close to the line. There's Marshall Mortar. He's the timekeeper.
His mother's seen enough. And Carl Morris must be absolutely gutted. Terry Hunt, with the benefit of still having a second visit in hand, has to clear up these last 3 reds. Two pots away. Down goes the red in the simplest of 8s. And Sheffield Bay's Terry Hunt has proven that there will be a new world champion for 1999. A gritty performance to punctuate a nail-biting victory for Terry Hunt. He is now through to his first Embassy Whirlpool Championship.
Well, the most controversial end to that indeed, and as you've seen, Terry Hunt couldn't believe it himself, but he goes through to the final, and Carl Morris is left to rue the day. Not only did he miss the black, but he's still talking about it. His mother couldn't watch it. Let's have a look now. Now remember, they have 2 minutes. There's the tap, and the important reason for that is that you might have heard the referee calling the signal for 30 seconds, but if you didn't know this already, Carl Morris is deaf. So to help him out, the referee will always give him a 30-second signal with his hand on the table, which you clearly saw there. Now, obviously under the circumstances, perhaps Carl Morris didn't see it. Keith, how did you see it?
Yeah, well, there was definitely a tap there, and as we know, Carl is deaf and he relies on the tap. But I think what happened, if you look, he was that engrossed in what he was doing, because it was obviously his last shot. He knew that he had to make the black. He was looking at playing off the knuckle. He just didn't see it. I think out the corner of his eye, he just didn't see it.
I think he's beginning to realise it too. I think even his father, yep, there's no question. I think at the end of the day, he's made a mistake. It's funny, we've mentioned in some ways how Carl Morris, compared to other players, is able to concentrate more. He uses that fact that he can't hear and everything's silent, so the pressure of the crowd and his parents and so on, he's able to block out, and he does enjoy that fact. He uses a hearing aid when he wants, but he doesn't use it during a game. This time it's let him down.
Yeah, this time it hasn't worked for him, but as we say, when they're in pressure situations, obviously the fact that he's definitely can block everything out is a help. And we've talked about that in the past, but I think he's been very unfortunate that he just hasn't realised what was going on. Like I said, he was just so concentrated on what he was doing, he just didn't look. He just didn't see it out the corner of his eye.
Putting that aside, Terry Hunt, a deserved winner in many ways, though.
Oh, he's played fabulous throughout the match, and if he'd have lost it, he could have counted himself very, very unfortunate. But I mean, we've got to give credit to Carl, because really he's been behind in the whole match. He's dug in, and he's just kept coming back at him. But at the end of the day, he did miss a straight black to the top pocket to win the match.
That was the important factor in the end of the day. Terry Hunt then through to the final after 3 times of trying. He's made it the semi-final, but never the final. He's with Estelle Matthews.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, I have a very relieved Terry Hunt with me here. Terry, you must have thought you'd lost it at the end there.
Definitely, especially from being 8-7 up, and I've just not got another shot really. Carl's played brilliant. Obviously, I'm over the moon to get to the final, but you can't help feeling sorry for Carl. I mean, he's played really well to get to 9-8 up, I think it was. I've come back to 9-0, yeah. He's done a great finish again, and he's just been unlucky.
He was gutted at the end there. I mean, 19 frames. What was he saying to you at the end?
He's a very good friend of mine, Carl. I've known him a long time, and it's nice to be in the final. And he just said to me, can't believe it, can't believe I've done a foul. I can't believe he's missed the black.
But for you, Terry, the elusive final is finally there at last.
Oh, yeah, 2 semi-finals, 3rd semi-final, and now I'm in the final, over the moon. I think I'm due one.
Has it sunk in yet?
Not yet, I think it will do tonight.
Well, let's look forward to a very exciting final. Back to you, Jonathan.
Definitely a lot of relief on the face of Terry Hunt. But I have to say, he has led all the way. Mistakes were made by Carl, and I think putting that controversy at the end there aside, Terry Hunt does deserve to be in the final after playing the way he did.
Well, I thought he took the match to Carl, especially early in the game as well. He attacked at every opportunity. He tried not to defend. He potted very well. He had a good all-round game, and he looked mentally right. That was the important thing. He actually looked mentally right, and he didn't let it get to him. Even when Carl caught him up there, right at the end, he didn't let it get to him. He still played very solid.
Could this be Terry Hunt's year?
Well, I mean, he's in the final, so it's a very good chance, let's put it that way. He's played well throughout the tournament, but he's going to have a hard final either way, and of course it's going to be like an international match as well. That will be a nice change. I mean, we've got an Englishman in the final, but we're going to have someone from the overseas, and the other semi-final promises to be very exciting.
Terry Hunt is through to the final. There is one more semi-final to go. That sees Quinten Hahn up against Yannick Beaufils of France, the Australian, the fiery Australian on great form against Darren Appleton in the last round. Now he faces the youngster, 20-year-old Yannick Beaufils. Terry Hunt, though, through 10-9 against the world champion, Carl Morris. That's our next matchup. Quinten Hahn is in great form. The snooker player and pool player plays the young Frenchman. You don't want to miss it. Until then, from all of us here in Blackpool, good night.